Surely there's nothing worse than after an embarrassing 4-0 defeat, you get called out on national TV by one of your biggest rivals of yesteryear. Well, that's exactly what Gary Neville did to the Arsenal team that put in what Arsene Wenger described as a disastrous performance against Liverpool. With a second loss in the opening 3 games of the season, we look at those players and a couple of other key men who are really letting Arsenal down. I already mentioned how nothing could be worse than Gary Neville ripping into your team post-match. Well, it turns out there is, when his brother Phil gets involved as well. Claiming that half of the team wanted to leave, he pointed out midfielder Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as one of the main culprits. In fairness, the Ox might have even been a bit surprised when he saw his name on the team sheet. It was only last week that he reportedly went to the Arsenal board and told them where to shove their 180k a week contract. In the last few days, it appears that he is finally edging closer to his move to London rivals Chelsea. If he wants to go, just go, and let the rest of the team get on with it. In the opening games of the season, there's one player who, judging by this next stat, deserves to be in the firing line when it comes to the wrath of Arsenal fans. With 3 mistakes leading to 3 goals in the opening 3 games, Granit Xhaka's performances aren't something that can be easily fixed with an apology on social media. His quality hasn't been questioned on the pitch, but more his intelligence. This was summed up at the weekend as he tried to backheel a pass to goalkeeper Petr Cech from just 2 yards outside of his goal line. It's fair to say that despite his rare good performances, that, combined with the fact that his disciplinary record matches the amount of goals he scored last season, it's clear to see why his future at Arsenal is in the balance. If the starting 11 are better off without his antics, he might look to get games elsewhere. Nothing says I really care about the club and I'm really sad about the result than posting a desperate picture on Instagram, right? Wrong. That might have worked, Alexis Sanchez, if you weren't caught laughing on TV after being substituted. Maybe he was laughing about how his replacement Olivier Giroud tried to revive Arsenal. Or maybe he was laughing about how much of a joke his team were on the pitch. If Alexis Sanchez should take one piece of advice this week, it'll be that of Jamie Carragher. Leave, and leave those cowards that you play alongside week after week. These may seem like harsh words from the ex-Liverpool player, but even an avid fan of a rival team can see when a player isn't getting what he deserves. In this case, it may not just be for a better wage, but for a team and a club with ambition, character, and the players who actually want to win. It's up to Arsenal. Take the £70 million that Manchester City are supposedly offering now, or wait another year and let him leave for free. The ball's in your court, Arsene. Next up is a player whose apologies just don't seem to be heartfelt enough. Mesut Ozil. Like fellow attacker Alexis Sanchez, Özil took to social media after the game to post a long-winded apology, but by the looks of things, many Arsenal fans aren't buying it. With the use of a high-quality match photo and the perfectly worded message, I wouldn't put it past Özil's PR and management team seeing this post as more of a necessity to reassure Arsenal fans about his commitment to the club. Unfortunately, actions speak louder than words, and with the German refusing to sign a new contract with less than 12 months on his current one, it seems that loyalty towards football clubs isn't what it used to be. A great player on his day, but commitment can be just as important as talent. Amongst a whole host of bad news to be coming out of Arsenal this summer, Shkodran Mustafi's apparent desire to leave the Emirates has gone somewhat unnoticed. Having signed for the Gunners just last summer and with a World Cup winners medal under his belt, it seems quite a bizarre move. But having said that, you'd probably want to leave too if your place in the starting 11 was taken by either a youngster in Rob Holding, a natural left back in Nacho Monreal, and worst of all, a man who moves so slowly he's almost going backwards. Per Mertesacker. With Inter Milan and Juventus reportedly interested, and with Arsene Wenger clearly seeing him as a bench warmer, nobody can really blame the German for wanting to leave. He's been quoted as saying if he's the problem, then he's sorry. But are you really sorry, Arsene? Clearly not. With reports of goalkeeper Petr Cech having to give the team a dressing down after the defeat to Liverpool, not Mr. Wenger, added to the fact he got a £2 million pay rise for finishing 5th last year, it seems that, no, he doesn't really care at all about the club. There isn't a foul word under the sun which hasn't been used to describe Arsenal's performance at Liverpool, and surely manager Arsene Wenger must take the blame for that. From an outsider's perspective, what on earth was he doing playing Oxlade-Chamberlain at right back, And why was record signing Alexander Lacazette on the bench alongside German left back of the year Sead Kolasinac? I don't need to be a qualified coach to realise that that doesn't make any sense. Now I know the eagle-eyed amongst you will see that I've previously stated that Arsene Wenger might have some time. However, the footballing world can be a cruel one, and with one wrong move, we could be talking about the biggest managerial departure of the century. So those are our key problem men at Arsenal. Who do you think is the real problem for the side? Will the Wenger out brigade finally get their wish? And who should they sign in the remaining hours of the transfer window? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.